December 18th, 2022. A stadium in Qatar. One man. One trophy. One chance to silence literally everyone who ever said he couldn't do it. This is the story of the match that changed Lionel Messi forever. Not just his career, not just his stats, but his actual legacy. Because before this night, the greatest player of his generation had one massive, glaring, impossible to ignore problem on his resume. And we all knew it. Let's be honest. Before 2022, every single Messi debate ended the same way. 4 Champions Leagues? Incredible. 7 Ballon d'Ors? Unmatched. Over 800 career goals? Absurd. But then someone would lean back, cross their arms, and drop the bomb. Yeah, but has he won a World Cup? And just like that, the conversation shifted. It didn't matter that he'd done literally everything else. That one missing trophy hung over him like a dark cloud at a birthday party. And Messi tried. Oh boy, did he try. 2014 World Cup Final? Lost to Germany. 2015 Copa America Final? Lost to Chile. 2016 Copa America Final? Lost to Chile again. After that second Copa loss, Messi actually retired from international football. He was done. Finished. He'd had enough of the pain, the pressure, the constant comparisons. Of course, he came back, because Messi is contractual obligated to make us feel things, but the damage was done. The narrative was set. He couldn't win the big one for Argentina. Fast forward to 2022. Messi is 35 years old. In football years, that's basically ancient. This is his 5th World Cup. Everyone knows it's his last real shot. The entire tournament becomes about one question. Can Messi finally do it? Argentina stumbles out of the gate, losing to Saudi Arabia in one of the biggest World Cup upsets ever. People start writing the obituaries early. But then something shifts. Argentina starts winning. Messi starts cooking. And suddenly, impossibly, they're in the final. Standing across from Argentina in the final? France, the defending champions. Led by Kylian Mbappé, who's basically Messi's heir apparent and also happens to be his club teammate at PSG. Which makes this whole thing even more dramatic. It's the perfect narrative. The old king versus the young prince. The passing of the torch. Except Messi isn't ready to hand over anything just yet. This is his moment. His mountain to climb. And he's about to put on a performance for the ages. Let's pause and appreciate what's actually on the line here. If Messi wins, he completes football. He joins Pelé and Maradona in the pantheon of undisputed GOATs. Every argument ends. Every debate closes. But if he loses? If he comes this close and falls short again? The narrative writes itself. Generational talent, club legend, but couldn't deliver when his country needed him most. At 35, there's no next time. No do-overs. This is it. Everything he's worked for, everything he's endured, comes down to 90 minutes. Plus extra time. Because of course it goes to extra time. The match kicks off, and Argentina comes out hungry. They're pressing, moving, creating chances. 23 minutes in, Angel Di Maria draws a penalty. And who steps up? Obviously Messi. He's taken big penalties before, but this one feels different. The weight of a nation, the ghosts of finals past, the entire trajectory of his legacy, all of it condensed into one kick. He slots it home. Bottom left. Cool as you like. Argentina 1, France 0. The dream is alive, and Messi's already on the scoresheet in a World Cup final. 13 minutes later, Argentina strikes again. A brilliant team move ends with Messi threading a perfect pass to Alexis Mac Allister, who finds Di Maria, who finishes like he's been possessed by the spirit of Argentine football itself. 2-0. France looks shell-shocked. At half-time, people are already writing the headlines. Messi is cruising to his World Cup. The fairy tale is happening. Except, and this is important, we are only 45 minutes into a match that will absolutely test every single person's cardiovascular health. Strap in, friends. It gets wild. Second half. France makes changes. And then Kylian Mbappé decides he's not ready to surrender his crown just yet. 80 minutes in, he scores a penalty. 2-1. 97 seconds later, yes, 97 actual seconds, he scores again. A beautiful volley. 2-2. The entire stadium goes from celebrating Argentina's coronation to stunned silence in less than 2 minutes. Mbappé has dragged France back from the dead with his bare hands. Messi's dream is crumbling in real time. This is nightmare fuel. This is every worst-case scenario playing out simultaneously. We head to extra time, and honestly, at this point, everyone's hearts are doing things hearts shouldn't do. The tension is unbearable. Both teams are exhausted. Legs are heavy. Minds are racing. And then, in the 108th minute, Messi does what Messi does. A scramble in the box, the ball falls to him, he pokes it toward goal, it bounces off the keeper, off a defender, and trickles over the line. It's Messi. It's chaotic. It's absolutely perfect. Messi has scored twice in a World Cup final. Argentina leads 3-2. The man is refusing to let his legacy slip away. But wait, because of course there's more. In the 118th minute, with just 2 minutes left before penalties, Mbappé wins another penalty. And he converts. Again. Ice cold. That's a hat-trick in a World Cup final. The first since 1966. Mbappé has single-handedly kept France alive 3 separate times. It's 3-3, and we are heading to penalties. After everything, the goals, the comebacks, the drama, the emotion, it's going to be decided by a penalty shootout. Football is ruthless. Football is cruel. Football is absolutely unhinged, and we are all here for it whether we like it or not. Penalty shootouts are psychological warfare disguised as sport. Everything comes down to this: 5 players, 5 kicks, 1 keeper, and the weight of history. For Messi, this is the ultimate test. He's already scored twice. He's given everything. But penalties are a lottery, and the lottery doesn't care about your legacy. Argentina needs to be perfect. One mistake, and it's over. Messi steps up first. Of course he does. He's carried this team for a month. He's carried them for years. And he buries it. Confident. Composed. 1 down, 4 to go. Then it's France's turn. And this is where Emiliano Dibu Martinez becomes a legend. Argentina's goalkeeper, who spent the entire tournament getting into opponents' heads with his antics, his stares, his absolute refusal to let anyone feel comfortable. He saves Kingsley Coman's penalty. Then Aurelien Tchouameni misses wide. Argentina converts all theirs. And just like that, after 120 minutes of football, after all the goals and drama and heart attacks, it's over. Argentina wins the penalty shootout. Argentina wins the World Cup. And Lionel Messi, at 35, finally completes his story. The moment the final penalty hits the net, Messi drops to his knees. Not in despair this time. In pure, unfiltered joy. His teammates pile on top of him. Millions of Argentinians lose their collective minds. The little kid from Rosario who was told he was too small, too fragile, too dependent on growth hormones, that kid is now a World Cup champion. Every painful final, every cruel defeat, every "yeah but Maradona" comment, all of it is washed away in this single, perfect moment. The monkey isn't just off his back. It's been launched into the sun. Let's talk numbers, because the performance Messi just put in is genuinely absurd. 2 goals in the final. 7 goals in the tournament. 3 assists. Player of the tournament. He didn't just win the World Cup, he dragged Argentina there kicking and screaming, then scored twice in the final to seal it. At 35 years old. In his final World Cup. Against the defending champions. In arguably the greatest World Cup final ever played. The man wrote his own Hollywood ending and made sure it was spectacular. This match didn't just change Messi's trophy cabinet. It fundamentally altered how history will remember him. Before December 18, 2022, there was always that asterisk. That lingering doubt. Sure, he's incredible, but... Now, the but is gone. Deleted. Obliterated. He's done everything. Won everything. Conquered every stage. The GOAT debate isn't over. Football fans will argue about literally anything forever. But Messi just removed the biggest weapon his critics had. You cannot question his legacy anymore. Not with a straight face anyway. But here's the thing that makes this story truly special. It's not just about Messi. It's about what he means to Argentina. For years, Argentinians had a complicated relationship with him. They love him, obviously, but there was always that distance. He lived in Spain. He seemed quiet, reserved. Not like Maradona, who was chaos personified. But this World Cup? This changed everything. Messi became Argentina's again. They saw him fight, cry, lead, bleed for the shirt. The connection that was always slightly fractured is now unbreakable. He's not just their greatest player. He's their champion. Can we also acknowledge that Mbappe just played one of the greatest losing finals in history? A hat-trick in the World Cup final and you still lose. That's football at its most brutal and beautiful. He gave everything, scored 3 goals, and it still wasn't enough. The respect between him and Messi after the match was genuine. No bitterness. Just 2 generational talents who pushed each other to create something unforgettable. Mbappe will have more chances. He's 23. But on this night, this was Messi's moment. The torch wasn't passed. It was earned. For decades, every conversation about Messi in Argentina eventually circled back to Maradona. And look, Maradona was spectacular. Iconic. A force of nature who could win matches through sheer willpower and the occasional use of his hand. But the comparisons were always unfair. Different eras, different teams, different pressures. Now though, the conversation shifts. Messi has his World Cup. He carried Argentina just like Maradona did, except he did it at 35, in the modern era, against stacked competition. The debate isn't who's better anymore. It's acknowledgement that Argentina has been blessed with 2 genuine football gods. That's the real miracle. Think about the emotional arc of Messi's international career. The early promise. The crushing defeats. The retirement. The comeback. The near misses. The one last chance. And finally, the triumph. It's a Hollywood script that actually happened. We watched this man go from the kid who vomited before matches due to nerves, to the player who retired in tears after another final loss, to the champion lifting the one trophy that eluded him. Sports rarely give us closure this perfect. Narratives usually don't wrap up this neatly. But sometimes, just sometimes, the universe delivers. After this match, Messi's records became even more ridiculous. Most World Cup appearances by an Argentine player. Most World Cup goals for Argentina. Only player to score in the group stage, round of 16, quarter-final, semi-final, and final in a single World Cup. 2 golden balls. And now, the big one, World Cup champion. The record books were already running out of space for his achievements. Now they'll need to publish a separate volume just for Messi. Someone at Guinness is updating their database as we speak and probably crying a little. The reaction to Messi's win wasn't just in Argentina. It was global. Even Cristiano Ronaldo fans, yes, those people who've spent 15 years arguing online, were posting congratulations. Football legends from every generation came out to celebrate. The Pope tweeted. The actual Pope. Barack Obama congratulated him. The world collectively exhaled and acknowledged what had just happened. This wasn't just Argentina winning. This was football getting the ending it deserved. Sometimes the good guy wins. Sometimes hard work and persistence pay off. Sometimes the story ends exactly how it should. And everyone knew it. Barcelona fans watching this had complicated emotions. Pride, obviously. They'd watched Messi grow from a teenager to the greatest player ever at their club. But also maybe a little sadness that this triumph came in Argentina colours, not Blaugrana. Messi gave Barcelona everything for 2 decades. 35 trophies. Over 670 goals. But the World Cup? That was for him. For Argentina. For the little boy from Rosario who Barcelona took a chance on when he was 13. The club made him a legend. The World Cup made him immortal. Both can be true. Here's something people forget. This World Cup triumph doesn't happen without the 2021 Copa America. That was Messi's first senior trophy with Argentina, won against Brazil in Rio. That win broke the curse. It proved he could do it for his country. It gave him and the team the belief, the foundation, the confidence that they could win when it mattered. The World Cup was the crescendo, but Copa America was the turning point. Without that trophy, this story has a very different ending. Sometimes you need to climb the smaller mountain to prepare for Everest. Let's give credit to Lionel Scaloni, Argentina's coach. This man took over a team in crisis in 2018 and built something special. He created a system that got the best out of Messi while not being completely dependent on him. He fostered genuine team chemistry. He made bold decisions. Starting Di Maria in the final was questioned beforehand and proved genius. Scaloni gave Messi the platform to shine. Great players need great systems, and Scaloni provided exactly that. Behind every legendary player is usually a coach smart enough to unleash them. Scaloni was that coach. Accidentally created a monster. The quarter-final against the Netherlands was when we knew this Argentina team was different. That match was absolute chaos. Heated confrontations. 15 yellow cards. Drama everywhere. Messi scored a vintage goal and then got into a heated exchange with Dutch players. This wasn't the quiet Messi we were used to. This was a man possessed, willing to fight for every inch. They won on penalties, and Messi's post-match comments about the Dutch coach became instant memes. He was done being polite. Done being passive. This was his World Cup, and anyone standing in his way was getting moved. Then came the semi-final against Croatia. This was Messi at his absolute peak. He scored a penalty, then assisted Julian Alvarez for another, then created a goal out of nothing with a run that defied physics and gravity. Croatia, who'd eliminated Brazil, couldn't handle him. He was everywhere. Playmaker, scorer, leader. At 35, running on fumes, he put in a performance that reminded everyone why he's Messi. Argentina won 3-0, and Messi had booked his place in the final. One more match. One more mountain. And he was ready to climb it. The image of Messi lifting the World Cup trophy, wearing that traditional bisht robe gifted by the Emir of Qatar, has already become iconic. His smile. The pure joy on his face. His teammates around him. Confetti falling. It's the photo that will be in every football museum, every documentary, every tribute video forever. This is the moment his career was building toward. Not the Barcelona trebles, not the Ballon d'Ors. Those were incredible, but this? This was destiny. The kid who was told he was too small to make it just became a World Cup champion. The photo says everything. 4 million people. 4 million. People lined the streets of Buenos Aires to celebrate Argentina's World Cup win. The parade had to be cut short because there were too many humans celebrating. The city essentially shut down for days. People climbed buildings, hung from lampposts, cried in the streets. This wasn't just a football celebration. It was a release of decades of tension, heartbreak, and longing. Messi stood on that bus, holding the trophy, watching millions of people scream his name. After years of complicated feelings, of pressure and criticism, Argentina was telling him, "You're ours, and we love you." As if the World Cup wasn't enough, Messi went ahead and won his 8th Ballon d'Or in 2023 because of this tournament. His 8th. That's not a typo. He now has more Ballon d'Or trophies than most players have major honors. The World Cup win essentially made the voting a formality. Who else could possibly win after what he just accomplished? The award ceremony was almost anticlimactic. We all knew it was coming. At this point, they should just rename the trophy the Messi Award and be done with it. The man is collecting individual honors like infinity stones. After conquering literally everything in football, Messi did something unexpected. He joined Inter Miami in MLS. Not Saudi Arabia with their billions. Not a romantic return to Barcelona. Miami. And honestly, perfect. The man has earned the right to play wherever he wants, win a World Cup, collect his 8th Ballon d'Or, then move to Florida and enjoy himself. He's still brilliant. He won the League's Cup immediately, but the pressure is off. The legacy is secured. Now he's just playing football because he loves it. And breaking MLS records, obviously. Because Messi gonna Messi. Let's address this. Was this the greatest World Cup final ever played? Strong case. 6 goals. Extra time. Penalties. Messi scoring twice. Mbappe hitting a hat-trick. 2 comebacks. Drama at every turn. The match had everything except a halftime musical number. Previous contenders include Brazil-Italy 1970, Argentina-West Germany 1986, but this one had the narrative weight of Messi's legacy combined with absurd entertainment value. Future generations will watch this match and refuse to believe it actually happened. They'll think we're exaggerating. We are not. It was genuinely that good. Football peaked on December 18, 2022. Let's compile everything Messi achieved in this tournament because the numbers are genuinely silly. 7 goals. 3 assists. Player of the tournament. 2 goals in the final. Most World Cup appearances by an Argentine. Most World Cup matches played by any player ever. And he did all this at 35, supposedly past his prime. The statistics suggest that past prime Messi is still better than virtually everyone else at their peak. He turned this World Cup into his personal highlight reel while carrying his country to glory. The numbers don't lie. They just shake their heads in disbelief. After winning the World Cup, everyone asked, will Messi retire from international football? He's achieved everything. The legacy is complete. Why risk it? But Messi, being Messi, said he'd continue. There's Copa America 2024. Maybe another run. The man won the World Cup at 35 and decided he's not done yet. Most players would take the W and walk away. Messi apparently woke up after the greatest triumph of his life and thought, yeah, but what if I won more stuff? Competitive drive at this level is basically a personality disorder. And we are grateful for it. Messi's Instagram post after winning the World Cup became the most liked Instagram post ever. Over 75 million likes. It broke the internet in the most literal sense possible. The photo of him sleeping next to the trophy? Instant classic. Every meme page, every sports account, every human with an internet connection shared something about Messi that week. Twitter was unusable. TikTok was flooded. The algorithm just gave up and accepted that everything was Messi now. When was the last time one sporting event unified the entire internet? This did. Messi's legacy transcends football. It's cultural history now. Kids who grew up watching Messi now have their I was there moment. They'll tell their children and grandchildren about the night Messi won the World Cup. About the final that had everything. About watching the greatest player finally complete his story. This is their 1986. Their Maradona moment. Messi inspired an entire generation to play football. Now he's given them a memory they'll carry forever. The influence goes beyond trophies and records. He showed that talent plus persistence equals legacy. That sometimes, if you keep trying despite heartbreak, the story ends right. That's powerful stuff for kids to learn. This World Cup win didn't just elevate Messi, it revitalized Argentine football. The 2021 Copa America started it, but the World Cup cemented it. Argentina is back. They have a system, a hungry young squad, and the confidence that comes from conquering the world. Players like Enzo Fernandez, Julian Alvarez, Alexis Mac Allister emerged as stars. The future looks bright. Messi gave them the blueprint and the belief. Even when he eventually retires for real, Argentina will have the foundation he helped build. The king prepared his kingdom for the transition. That's legacy beyond personal glory. Imagine if Argentina had lost that final. If Mbappe had scored one more penalty. If France had won the shootout. How would we remember Messi? Still one of the greatest ever, obviously. But there would always be that shadow. That missing piece. He'd be in the conversation with Cruyff and Di Stefano, transcendent talents who never won the World Cup. Instead, he's with Pelé and Maradona. The difference between those two groups? One match. One performance. One night in Qatar. That's how thin the line is between immortality and almost. Sports is ruthless. Messi refused to be on the wrong side of history. Something people overlook. This wasn't vintage peak Messi from 2012. This was 35-year-old Messi who'd evolved his game. He wasn't sprinting past 5 defenders anymore. He was orchestrating, positioning, choosing moments. Scaloni built the system around this new Messi. False nine at times, dropping deep to create, conserving energy for crucial moments. then striking when it mattered. The 2 goals in the final came from positioning and timing, not supernatural dribbles. Messi proved that intelligence and adaptation can compensate for declining physical attributes. He literally changed his game to win the World Cup. That's mastery. The economic impact of Messi winning the World Cup is genuinely staggering. Argentina jersey sales exploded. Global brands fought for partnerships. Tourism to Argentina increased. The Inter Miami move became instant news. Every company with a Messi deal celebrated because his image just appreciated massively. A World Cup winning Messi is worth exponentially more than a World Cup-less Messi in commercial terms. It's crass to discuss, but it's real. The match changed his legacy on the pitch and his value off it. He's not just a footballer anymore. He's a global icon with a complete story. That's priceless. Well, actually, it's worth billions. But you get it. So here's what it comes down to. December 18th, 2022. The Lusail Stadium. 120 minutes plus penalties. 2 goals. A performance that will echo through history. This wasn't just a match. It was the resolution of a 2-decade narrative arc. It was the answer to every question, the response to every critic, the fulfillment of every promise Messi's talent suggested. One match changed everything. Not his ability. We knew he was brilliant. But his legacy. His place in history. His relationship with Argentina. His inner peace. You could see it on his face after the final whistle. This was the match Messi needed. Lionel Messi won the World Cup. After all the heartbreak, all the criticism, all the pressure, he did it. In arguably the greatest final ever played. Against the defending champions. Scoring twice. Leading his country. At 35. In his last chance. The story couldn't be written better. And now, when people debate the greatest footballer ever, the conversation is different. Because Messi has done it all. Every club trophy. Every individual award. Every stage conquered. The kid from Rosario who was too small, who needed growth hormone treatment, who left Argentina at 13. That kid is now a World Cup champion. One match. One performance. One legacy. Forever changed.